Alright, I am back for the final round, and I have lost the die roll, but I'm definitely going to keep voice into Finks into pod Finks into Rhino, or something along those lines. So we'll go ahead and keep this hand and hope our opponent doesn't ranch us too hard. Looks like another pod mirror. Well, this hand's kind of bad in the pod mirror, so that's not good. And our draw step was another land, which is also pretty bad. Ugh, man. Too many pod mirrors. Maybe I need to. Oh, wait, this isn't pod. That's Stirring Wildwood. And that's a Thalia. Yeah, that doesn't. Alright, so it's not pod. Oh my. Orzhov Pontiff. Goulet. That was a delight. Alright, so I take it all back. This is definitely not pod. It is like green white hate bears, I guess. So just play the voice, and I'll probably just take 3 from the attack here, and the next turn I get to pontificate on some of my choices. And then after that I can probably pod into Rhino and begin the Rhinoceros chain. Now, I wish there was some sort of I wish there was a 5-drop that let us like rebuy on Rhino. That would be great. Alright, no blocks. Like something like where we could go like I can pod like Finks into Resto. Core Firewalker. Leonin Arbiter. Alright. Well, I guess we'll still just go ahead and cast this. Just a bunch of hate bears. We'll go ahead and kill that Hierarch and that Thalia. I'm not attacking with the voice. I'm content to just trade with either of these creatures if they attack, so no reason to do that. Next turn, just gonna cast this Kitchen Finks, and we can't fetch because of Leonin Arbiter. Maybe next turn I'll just cast Birthing Pod actually, but well, we're getting Ghost Quartered, so never mind on that. Yeah, I can't use the ability because I'd have to pay 2 for Leonin Arbiter, so that's awkward. But we will go ahead and, I mean, I'm fine to just trade here. And unfortunately now, because I have a Plains, I can't actually cast Kitchen Finks. So that's super awkward. Oh, never mind, we drew a Swamp. So I can cast Kitchen Finks. And I will go ahead and attack with our 3/3 here. Because now we have Finks to block the Arbiter. So, and also like we're really far ahead on board, so I want to put the pressure on him before he like maybe finds something to punish us here. So next turn I think I'm just gonna hard cast this pod, and then the turn after I can start podding. Probably just into Rhinos actually is probably where I want to start going. Like I can pod Finks into Rhino, and then I can pod like Pontiff into Restoration Angel on the Rhino or something like that, and just start getting some Rhinoceros action going. Interesting. Just attacking with Stirring Wildwood, eh? Well, I mean, I'm just gonna double block. I think I'm just okay trading both of these for the Stirring Wildwood. I mean, that weakens our pod a little bit, but let's go ahead and haunt this creature. like I mean, I'm fine just getting that thing off the board. Okay, bird was kind of a sweet draw. Let's go ahead and cast the bird. That makes this token bigger. And let's crunch on in for 5 here. Maybe that was a bad block, actually. That was probably a pretty bad block, but I don't know. Usually I just like to trade resources when I'm like really far ahead. Next turn I can start potting away like kitchen finks into Rhino and go from there. Maybe at some point in time actually can use these fetch lands. Alright, shocking off of Temple Garden feels like Restoration Angel. Okay, no. Weird. Noble Hierarch. Aven Mind Sensor. It's what it feels like actually. Oh no, it's just a smiter. Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna pay 2 life to use pod. So that I can, if I pay 2 life for pod, then I can also fetch. So, so let's go ahead and do this. What? Oh my god, that's so frustrating. I thought that it would tell me to pay I thought it would tell me to pay. But apparently you have to just you have to pay, you have to do the thing first. Well, that's really annoying. Uh, that was just a Magic Online error. Now I might lose this game. That's awkward. Well, I guess I'll pay 2 mana and fetch now. God, that's just a tilt right there. Yeah, I guess I have to click Leon and Arbiter and pay 2. It doesn't like remind me or anything. I don't know, I've never played against Leon and Arbiter before, so I didn't know, but that's, we just paid 2 life and got rid of one of our creatures for no value. And now our opponent just drew Wiltleaf Liege of all cards. Let's take 7. Alright, Voice of Resurgence into a 3-drop. We can get back Eternal Witness. Or Kitchen Finks. I mean, we're probably still actually going to win this game just because how powerful Birthing Pod is, but that was really frustrating. So I've already used Orzhov Pontiff and it doesn't do anything. I have Sin Collector and Eternal Witness. So let's see, if I play the Voice, pay 2, pod it, and then into Eternal Witness for another Voice and then play the other Voice, then this would be a 4/4, and I would have 2 Voices and an Eternal Witness in play. That seems like the right thing to do. Um, could also get a kitchen Finks. Pod it into Finks. So let's see. I would have two elementals, a voice. Yeah, that seems like the best. So let's see. Pay 2 for this. Alright, cast a voice of resurgence. Go ahead and fetch a forest. We'll pay 2 life. Let's see, he had 4 attackers, and I'm going to have 2 elementals, a voice, and a. Yeah, minimum. Okay, yeah. Alright, so let's sacrifice this. Get a. I think Eternal Witness is just the best bet for Voice of Resurgence. And then recast the voice. Alright, so now I have a pretty big board, and we can start to hopefully like come back, and hopefully our opponent just draws a brick. Is this thing legendary? It's not. Yeah, if I had a Siege Rhino in play, and I could pod that Rhino into a Shriekmaw or something, this would be just a completely different game. But oh well, live and learn. This creature's also haunted too, which is good to know. So if I block like this 6/6 with this thing, I get to shrink the entire team. It's just definitely a very relevant point. See exactly how this dies. Yeah, the creature has to die to trigger the haunt. So see if our opponent. Alright, he's attacking with just. Oh yeah, it becomes a 7/7. Okay. Declarative. Alright, I think I actually want to just block with just the voice, and then I just have a bunch of these giant elementals. Oh no! My opponent drew the card that I wanted to draw. Scavenging Ooze. Alright, we drew Siege Rhino, that's great. Okay, so I can cast a Rhino, pod Rhino into Shriekmaw to kill Scavenging Ooze, and then attack. Because I think Ooze is the best target to kill. So, all right, let's see how we do this. So, let's first just go ahead and cast this thing. I could also pod Eternal Witness into a Restoration Angel on Rhino. Or I could just go ahead and go to combat here and attack with all 3 of these, which have to all be blocked, right? Because he can go to 10. I guess he could let one of them through and block 2 of them. So I can also pod Witness into. can also pot Eternal Witness into Restoration Angel and Rhino, or into just another Rhino itself. I could pod Rhino into Archangel, or I could pod Rhino into Shriekmaw. Hmm. So like if I attack with these three, he blocks Arbiter on one, Hierarch on another, takes 6, eats 3 creatures, goes to 10, then I can't kill him. So maybe I just go ahead and pod directly into Shriekmaw. And then if I just pod directly into Shriekmaw and kill Scavenging Ooze, then let's see, pod into Shriekmaw, kill Ooze, then crash on in. He has to block 2 of them as well, so I think I like that line. Let's go ahead and pay 2 for Leon and Arbiter this time. Just fetch a forest. And I can also get a Restoration Angel for Rhino, but I think it's better to just get a Shriekmaw here. Get that Scavenging Ooze off the board. I think Ooze is scarier than Wiltleaf Leech, to be completely honest. And I'm pretty sure he can only eat 2 things because he has to block 2 of these guys. Yeah. Alright, so now let's think. So he has to block 2, and then I have 2 blockers. Huh. Well, this is interesting because if I if I attack with all 3 of these and he blocks 2 of them, goes to 3, and he draws a removal spell, I'm just dead. So I'm not sure that I can actually attack safely. And next turn I can like pod into a Rhino and stuff, so I think I can safely send 1 though. And he probably has to block it, otherwise next turn I just pod into Rhino and he's dead. But other than that, I want to have blockers for all of his creatures, so let's go ahead and send 1 on in. No blocks, okay. So next turn I just pod Witness into Rhino and he's dead. Assuming like we don't die this turn, or he doesn't draw something like that gains him life or whatever. Shriekmaw also has Fear as a lethal attacker as well. What was drawn? Mirren Crusader. Wow. Okay. Jeez. Well, good thing he didn't. Good thing he blocked or didn't block last turn. So if we just don't block with this or this, I mean, it's looking pretty good for us. Alright, I just want to make sure that I block and don't misclick. Okay. Alright. -1/-1 to finish off that smiter. And let's pay for this thing. Well, I mean, I guess we'll just go ahead and attack with this lethal Shriekmaw. Alright. Well, we ended up winning anyway because Birthing Pod's a ridiculous card, but that was kind of not the way I wanted to win. Alright, so we're playing against Hate Bears. I don't want Sin Collector at all. Well, let's just see what I want. I want Pontiff. I don't want Cord, like anything like that. I want the Ooze. That seems good. The Linvala seems good. Path to Exile seems good. So let's see what do I not want. I like the Rhinos. They seem pretty sweet. Finks seems good. Pontiff is good. Witness is good. Pride Mage is pretty unnecessary. You can cut that. Let's see. Abrupt Decay. I like Abrupt Decay. It kills a lot of his creatures. So what do we not want? Like, he's not really aggressively killing our guys, so I think we can safely cut a Wall of Roots. Maybe even both. I think I can cut. I'm bringing in another 4, and I think I want to cut like 1 Rhino, 1 Kitchen Finks. Oh no, wait, voices. Sorry, let's cut voice. Let's cut 2 voices, because like they're actually not that great against him. They just get outclassed. Alright, let's do that. And then keep all the Rhinos and Finks, because I really like those cards a lot. Oh man, that Woodland Cemetery. Awkward. I'm going to keep this though, because it's a pretty good hand. But yeah, that Woodland Cemetery is a bit awkward. Maybe I'll draw a green source. Yes. That was an insane draw right there. So now I can go probably Finks into Rhino into Pod, because like if I just play a Pod next turn and he just plays like a Leonin Arbiter, it just kind of wrecks me. Or if he just has like a removal spell for it, like a Reclamation Sage or something, just seems like it's better to wait and save Pod for a turn where I can actually use it. Pride Mage. Yeah, Pride Mage is a perfect example. I don't want to just jam Pod into a Pride Mage. I'd rather just cast Kitchen Finks. And then now I'm actually like pretty sweet here. Play this Rhino next turn. I have a Path and a Pod. You know, feels pretty good. If I had a 2-drop, I could pod that into like a Pontiff and maybe clear some creatures out or something, depending on how this goes. But Mirran Crusader. I think I have Path Exile. Alright, I don't think I want to block quite yet. Okay. I hate giving him a land. But like we have to path this Mirran Crusader. I guess I can upkeep path it. Because this thing is going to attack us for 8 damage next turn. So that's definitely a problem. I wanted to cast the Rhino. It's really awkward that I have this 1 mana spell that's preventing me from casting this Rhino. But like this thing is like double exalted, maybe even triple exalted. I can't just afford to take that much damage. I mean maybe I can, but then I don't know. Maybe I can. Just cast Rhino this turn and take a crap load of damage. And then next turn I have Pod and Path. Yeah, I mean, I actually have changed my mind. I think I'm going to try to do that. Um, it's a riskier line, but someone's got to do it. And I can pod into like Archangel maybe, which does block Crusader. I can also pod into. I also like potting Kitchen Finks into. Um, I like potting Kitchen Finks into a Restoration Angel on Siege Rhino, or just another copy of Siege Rhino. Let's see what this is. Oh, jeez. Yeah, we're taking 10 from Mirren Crusader. Alright. I think I actually want to probably path this Wiltleaf Liege. Maybe not. No, no, no. That's bad. Alright, so I'm going to start with an attack with both of my creatures. So if he blocks Pride Mage on Finks, then I can path Wiltleaf Liege. These will trade. Then I can play Pod and pod Finks into Restoration Angel, Blinking Rhino, and I have a Restoration Angel to block his Crusader then. So that seems like the best line of play. And it also puts a lot of pressure on him. Maybe we can just like kill him pretty soon. Right, no blocks. So now I want to pod Finks into Resto, and I want to path exile this Mirren Crusader. But I'm wondering if I should wait until his turn to do it. Like, he could have Restoration Angel, but I feel like it's better to wait and accept that we can maybe get blown out. I can also get Linvala. No, that's really bad. Well, maybe not. Like, I can get Linvala here. That actually shuts out this. But I think getting a Restoration Angel is just better. I just want my opponent to just be like dead next turn. I don't think that my opponent's dead next turn, but we definitely have him on the ropes here. Especially since I can just like get this Kitchen Finks into another Siege Rhino. So he has to block this Siege Rhino. Or he can like Pride Mage or Pod, but like that's actually not that big of a deal. Like we're probably gonna lose our Pod to the Pride Mage this turn. Like maybe I should have played a little differently to protect our Pod, but like if I get Linvala here, then rest in peace. Interesting. Sure. Alright, so we can't persist anymore, but that doesn't actually, like, now that we're on Rhinoceros, persisting is, like, actually not that big of a deal. Oh, wow, Thalia. So now here's the question, do I... So if I get rid of this Pride Mage... Huh. I could get rid of the Pride Mage, or I could get rid of the Mirren Crusader here. I'm gonna hope that he doesn't have another land. Man, this is really weird. He probably has another land, right? So I could plow this Pride Mage, which means I get to keep my pot around. But it means I don't have an answer to this Mirren Crusader. Or I can... It would force him to block his Wilt Leaf Liege on my Siege Rhino next turn. And I could pot into another Rhino. I think it's just safer to get rid of the Crusader. Yeah, like this is just the safer play. Like it might be wrong, but this just feels a little bit safer. Sorry, this is I mean we only have 7 minutes left on our clock. I'm sorry I'm like thinking through this so much. Just want to make sure I'm making the right plays. Let's see if our opponent actually has a land. Like if they have a land to blow up our pod, that's bad, but if they don't, like just this pod advantage is just huge. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have a land. No attacks either. Another pod. I feel like we should be able to win this turn. Pod Rhino and Archangel. Pod Sphinx and Rhino. Yes, okay. I think we can win this turn. Oh no, wait, Thalia. Dang it. Alright, Thalia's gonna make Pod cost an extra mana. So, well, actually, Pod, activate. I think we can actually still do this. So let me see here. Let me pay a life here. Get a forest. Okay, so I pay 4 for this birthing pod, puts me to 7 life, 5 life, 3 life, using it twice. I pod Rhino into Archangel of Thune. I pod Kitchen Finks into Rhino, trigger puts a counter on Restoration Angel. Oh wait, Restoration Angel just has Exalted from Noble Hierarch. Yeah, so I don't even have to go through all this. That's actually just lethal. But if we did not have, if this was a Birds of Paradise, we could still win by podding. First, you pod Rhino into Archangel. Secondly, you pod Kitchen Finks into Rhino, triggering Archangel to make this a 4 power creature, and then you get the drain from Archangel to kill. So, but instead, we just get to do this. Our opponent not destroying our pod was definitely a mistake. And sacrifice a creature. And we'll show them the old rhinoceros. So, our opponent just said awesome game. So, and actually they were pretty awesome games. I'm just telling him they were both great games. Outside of us messing up the first game with Lean and Arbiter. Um, but yes, I think that the Hate Bear deck is actually a really good matchup for Pod. I don't think I've ever lost to it with Pod. You just have just the ability for Pod to just go over the top. It's just really great. So hopefully you enjoyed this round. This is probably our best round though, like most interactive round. I like the burn round too. I thought there's a lot of interaction there as well. But these were some really awesome games and really showcases some of the sweet things that Modern has to offer. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. We ended up going 3-1 with the Rhino Pod. Only lost to the Mirror, so pretty good result. Definitely learned a lot, and I think that there's lessons to be learned. I'm actually going to do a conclusion, going back to the deck and talk about some of the things I learned and some things I might change. So stick tuned for that if you're interested in the evolution of the deck.